There we go. Hey guys, welcome to Creative Profitability. We are so excited to have you. I'm Angela England, and with me is Kirsten. Say hi.
Hello. Hi. I'm trying to make sure the video is playing over here.
Is it playing?
So excited to have you.
There.
Oh, it's playing.
It was playing. Yep. I had to mute everything again.
Yes, exactly.
Well, if you guys are not already signed into the chat, sign in and let us know where you're watching from.
We love the chats because the people who come in person, they get to get their answers, have their questions answered, and that's really fun that way.
Angela, are you presenting only me? I only see me, but maybe that's just.
I thought that I wasn't, but no. Oh, it's because I clicked the button. I was checking out your lower third. Mine's not working for some reason. Like it's making the space for it, but it's not showing up. I don't see me. Oh well.
We know who you are. You're Angela.
I'm Angela, England. I'm in Oklahoma. I'm actually stealing the Wi-Fi off of my in-laws' house because where we moved, we don't have unlimited data anymore. So all of these videos, I go commute to go do all of the videos and interviews and stuff like that. So I don't eat up all my data. So there's no excuse. Those of you who try to make excuses about why you can't get stuff done, there's no excuse.
It is really hard though if you don't have full-time internet access at home, or you have really slow, wireless. Like I'm at my husband's office, and before we started, everything was not working and it was making me insane. And I was like, am I going to have to leave and go somewhere else? My kids are too loud at home. And so, anyway. Oh, -6.
Oh my
Captain
gosh.
Chaos Mom. P.S. I love your name. I would die at -6. That's like my death temperature.
Yeah, no, I grew up in California. So I'm kind of like, anything below 50 is freezing cold. And then I moved to Oklahoma and we had snow yesterday and the kids were like, woohoo! And I was like, I love seeing you guys play in the snow from my warm, cozy couch.
-3, another one. Okay, so someone's at the top of a mountain in Ecuador. That's insane. Is that where you live or are you just there right now? That's really cool. Traveling last. I'm guessing you're traveling.
She travels. Yeah, exactly. No, I wouldn't be going outside either. No way, Jose. Okay, so you guys are here to learn some awesome things. We are going to talk primarily about ebooks and courses and webinars and how you can use those tools to really increase your profitability as a blogger. When I started out, I was doing a lot of content creation. I was being paid per post. And it didn't take me very long to realize that that's not how I was going to make money in the long term, that I could only tread that water so long. And really, when my third son was born, we had a couple months there where things were so tight. The cash flow just wasn't there the way that it needed to be. And it really, we had like 2 or 3 weeks in a row after he was born where we made the decision not to go to church because we needed the gas that was in the tank for my husband to get to work to make it to the next paycheck. That's how tight we were for a while. And that was, he was born in 2000. When were you born, Micah? 2008. In 2009, I wrote my first big ebook, and it really, all the pieces fell together for me, and I figured out how to make money writing that would bring in a residual income. And when we sat down and did taxes at the beginning of 2010, we discovered that that ebook had brought in an additional 5 figures for our family's income. I'm not talking new house 5 figures, but more like, minivan 5 figures. But it was a significant change in the way that I did business, in the way that I considered myself as a writer, and in how I approached making money online and writing, and how to make a profitable income from the work that you're doing. You're already doing the work. And so what we're going to talk about is kind of some of the ways that you can take what you're doing, package it in a really strategic and smart way, and increase the profitability of your efforts.
Yeah, so for me, and this is kind of in the slides too, and we'll just gloss over that because we're doing it right now as we're kind of waiting for you guys to fill in. For me, I feel like I didn't realize, I started blogging before blogging made money. And then when I realized it was making money, I was like, I'm doing this anyway. Let's make money. Why am I not making money? And so I started doing sponsored posts. that's what you do, right? And I put ads on my site. But I didn't love sponsored posts. I didn't enjoy writing them. I know some people do and write really great sponsored posts, but I didn't enjoy it. Most of them were not a good fit for me, or they had so many requirements, or you had to put in so much effort to apply, or you do it and then they'd make you change it. It drove me crazy. So, you know, I finally hit that month where I really, you know, got to my top page views and was like where I really wanted to be. I was over 100,000 for that month. And I was like, I made it. I finally am, you know, pushed past that next milestone to keep growing, of course. But I didn't make much more money that month than I had the month before. And it really didn't have any impact other than I could say I did it. And the next month, Pinterest changed an algorithm and my traffic dropped in half. And so I was like, well, that was fun. You know, so it made me wonder, what am I working toward? Am I working toward page views, and to what end? Because if I want to make money, is this really is this a sustainable model, and do I even like it? And the answer was no. And so I wanted to change things. And so I started, you know, thinking about creating courses and helping other people with the things that I had learned, and building something totally different, and focusing on my email list growth, because that's a much more permanent and sustainable model to connect with an audience, whether you're trying to monetize or you want to publish books one day and have people buy them. You know, using your email list versus having a blog that people might or might not visit is much more secure. So that's kind of what got me into this. And then Angela and I got hooked up together when we spoke at a conference, and we had these like super late night 3 a.m. chats.
We were roommates. It was crazy. Too much craziness in one room.
So much fun. We need to do it again. So, all right, let me check on the chat here. And okay, so we've got people here. I don't know if you want to go ahead and we can start with the slides. I think you're talking about ebooks.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
So
you have the slides though, so I'll put you on.
Yeah, so put me on and I will.
Present.
All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share.
It is all you.
Oh, that's not what I want to screen share though. Hang on, I got to pull this up top. Yeah, it's giving me like the wrong options. Like, hey, oh no, I lost the video. There's so many windows here. You go away. And
That's what happens when you have all the tech stuff going on.
I know. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start the screen share.
Perfect.
Let me know.
Making money, creating the content you love. That's it. That's what we want to do.
Okay, super. Well, let's go ahead and get started then. All right. So we already kind of talked about this a little bit, that we have been making income through self-publishing, through Kindle printable ebooks. And Angela actually has traditional publishing deals as well. So she has extra clout on there. Creating courses and then writing for publications. And we want to show you guys how you can create content that you love for you, not somebody else's sponsored stuff, and make money doing it. So Angela, you told a little of your story, but just repeat it briefly in case people missed it when they were coming in.
Yeah, so somebody had said, oh, ebooks are the way to make money when you're writing. And so I started putting together some ebooks, and the first one that I made sold like 5 copies. It was awful. The ebook itself was fabulous. It's just I had no clue what I was doing. And that's what I find a lot of bloggers are running into when they hear, oh, make an ebook, and then they go and they just slap something together. Or they actually, you know, what I find is most bloggers actually pour their heart and soul into it. They just don't know what works and what doesn't, and have a good grasp on how to handle that. And when you look at the stats, the average self-published book only sells 250 copies. And so, you know, my 5 copies of my ebook kind of fell right into that miserable average. And once you learn how to do it, it's something that you can repeat with success on a multitude of topics. I've done both tech topics and nonfiction work in, you know, just gardening and getting prepared and, you know, all kinds of different stuff related to my blog with great success. And I have helped students who have developed great success in their efforts as well. And so that's the key, is once you understand kind of how to go about approaching it, then you become much more successful. And I already shared how I was able to create that. The other benefit of ebooks, and I know you're a big proponent of having the newsletters set up. When I created an ebook as a free download for my newsletter, I took my newsletter from a handful of subscribers a month to triple-digit subscribers every month consistently for the last 2 years, which has exploded what I'm able to do with my newsletter, not only for myself, but for sponsors or affiliate monetization as well. So there's a great benefit to having a well-written product that is really an introduction to a reader, and they get to know you a lot better.
Well, for me, I kind of shared my story about how, I reached that 100K monthly page views. That was supposed to be like the beginning of being like an awesome full-time blogger and making all the big money. And then things tanked my page views. And about that same time, I was really just starting to hate the sponsored posts. I hated fighting for them. I hated having to write these pitches. And, even the ones that were a good fit still, I just didn't like them. And I'm contrary and ornery, and some people do a great job with them. But I started a new blog last year that has a fraction of the page views. And I started building a new list, new email list through that. I started, doing live trainings like this once or twice a month. And, sometimes like today, we're going to give you guys, people are asking in the chat, we're going to have an offer for this. We're launching a course. And this is not going to be one big sales pitch. We're going to train you guys. So that's why we're leaving that until later. But I do live trainings a couple times a month where I either don't have a pitch, or if I have a product, I do a pitch sometimes. And I always warn you, and we'll talk more about that later. But I started making more money, or as much money, within a couple of months on a blog with, like 1,000 page views a month, versus the money that I was making on, my blog with 100,000 page views. It just was the same amount of money, and it was doing something I loved. So we want to talk about how you can stop letting other people and other platforms control your profits. So if you guys are ready, just type something cheesy like "let's do this" or
let's do it.
I'm ready in the chat. And Angela's going to kick us off talking about ebooks, which I know from those of you guys who filled out the survey, which thank you, by the way, you guys are super interested. And just as another note about what we're going to be presenting at the end, the Creative Profitability course, we're offering a bundle to you guys for our live viewers that we're going to talk about, and it's only available live, so definitely stick around for that because we've got something special for you. All right, so Angela, go ahead and kick us off about ebooks.
Let's do it. So an ebook, what is an ebook anyway? An ebook is a book that is created electronically. It's published and delivered digitally. Usually, hopefully, you have included most of the elements that a traditional book would have, but you have the added benefit of being able to add links. And this is a huge benefit if you're doing something like a newsletter download, or you're offering something even in guest posts. Sometimes I'll give like a free little booklet that people can download and when I'm doing guest posts and things, and the links all lead back to me. One of the benefits is that you can bring readers back to your blog very easily, since it's a digital product. Even if they download it off of Amazon or Kindle or something like that, you're able to bring them back to your blog or back to key posts that you want them to read. Somebody who does a really great job of this, for example, is Tim Grahl, and he's got a book where one of the things that he breaks down are all the different newsletter options that you can use to develop your newsletter. And in the book, he says, this content is always changing. So to see my always updated recommendation, go to, timgrahl.com/newsletter options or something like that. And that post is one that he just can refresh with his new affiliate partners, sponsors, or if, a company shuts down and a new one starts up, he can add that information into the post. It doesn't make his ebook obsolete because he's putting that time-sensitive content and data onto his blog post, which he's always able to update and keep it fresh. So that is one of the huge benefits of ebooks. One of the other benefits, of course, is that if you're selling it, you're creating a great additional revenue stream for you. I told you guys, we had cash flow issues for a while. When you have 3 kids in like 4 years, it tends to get eaten up a little bit. And one of the things that now I sat down and realized every single month in 2015, I got a check from Amazon, and it just came in the mail every month. And it varied, it fluctuated, of course. But I had met that minimum. I have a set amount. You can tell Amazon when you want the checks to issue to you. And I had met that minimum every single month from the ebooks and products that I had available there. And to create that additional revenue for something that I wrote 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, it kind of just adds up. And when you're selling a book off of your website, it's so much nicer than traditional publishing. I just did a 3rd print book this summer, And I signed the contract in June. I turned in my final author edits in October, and I just got the advance in the mail yesterday. The advance that they were issuing when I signed the contract in June, sometimes those advances are not actually advances, and it takes a while for the money to kick in. And, you know, it's like I won't see money from the sales of the book for another 6 months.
Well, and I think I'm going to interrupt you real fast. Didn't you say
Yeah.
also that you were able to, in the time you were waiting for your traditional book deal to go through, you were able to write like a whole other ebook?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. So, you know, having the immediate payments that come, you know, I sell a book today, that money's in my PayPal account today because they clicked the buy now button on my website. And yes, I probably owe some, you know, to my affiliates if I've done affiliates and things like that. If you're doing a free ebook, it's a boost in your subscribers, your followers. And then like Kirsten was saying, the time is so much faster. When I did my second print book, I turned in the manuscript. I started a self-published book. I wrote it, edited, produced it, published it, and sold 1,000 copies by the time my second print book actually hit the shelves. So just in the time that it was at the printers waiting for the publishing house to do all the stuff that the publishing house does, they move so much slower. When you're working for yourself and you're making all of those decisions yourself, you can move a lot faster because you're the only one you have to consult. Which kind of leads us to the potential downsides of doing an ebook, which is you get to do all the stuff yourself.
Yay.
So, you know, you have to think as a marketer, you have to think as an editor, you have to think as a graphic designer. Now, that's not to say you have to do all of those things yourself. In fact, I highly recommend that you do not. However, you are ultimately responsible for the product that comes out. It's got your name on the cover, and you are where the buck stops if something looks terrible or you neglected to take care of something. The other thing that you do need to be aware of is that you will be in charge of your own bookkeeping and taxes. You're not going to have an accountant from the publishing house sending you that 1099 in the mail at the end of the year. You are going to need to earmark. When you make $1, it's not actually $1 that you get to spend. So there's that certain percentage that Uncle Sam is going to want. And then the other, yes, ew, I know, blast him. But you know, the other thing to be aware of is the marketing aspect and breaking that average, that 250 barrier that I talked about before. It feels very daunting sometimes, and there's a lot of things that you can do to get yourself in a good position to really sell something that people are going to be interested in. And part of that starts with how you begin the book and where you start the book out. And that is with a brilliant topic and a well-organized product. When you have the right topic, the book will begin to sell itself. You want a topic that is very specific. Yeah, I'll come back to that other one. They should probably have been switched. You want a topic that is going to be, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this, very focused, very interesting. It's going to have that unique hook, but not so narrow that you eliminate half of your audience, half of your potential audience. So when you are working with your topic, I use the example of knitting, right? So if you have a blog about knitting or handcrafting or fiber arts, maybe you decide you want to write a knitting book. So you have to think what's a broad enough audience that's going to appeal to a lot of people. One of the mistakes that bloggers often make is they'll say, oh, I'm going to blog about knitting, so I'm going to write the ultimate guide to knitting. Woo, everything, yes. But what they don't consider is that that is so broad and generic that you are competing with hundreds of other titles already out there. The knitters who are going to be interested in your book, they already have The Complete Idiot's Guide to Knitting, Knitting for Dummies, Knitting 101. What is going to make your book special? Why are they even going to consider your book? You have to make it unique. You have to make it specific. You have to make it interesting. So perhaps a better example would be 52 baby projects you can knit in a weekend. That has a hook. It has a promise. You're guaranteeing them a certain outcome when they look at your book. And by having a more specific topic, you're going to get a lot more interest, because they're going to say, now your audience is still everyone who knits and knows a baby or has a baby or knows someone who has a baby, which is basically everyone who knits can have a reason to give a cool project away to a beautiful baby, right? I mean, it's brilliant. And that is the type of thinking that you need to have when you begin to approach your topic. My first ebook that flopped and did, 5 copies, it was far too generic. I was thinking so broad that I eliminated any bit of interest and uniqueness out of my title completely. Even though the content was brilliant, it wasn't catching people's attention. You have to catch them right from the beginning. Once you have your topic, I highly recommend that you begin brainstorming your table of contents. You're going to be able to work a lot more efficiently when you know what you are going to be working on.
And Angela, somebody, The Art of Better asked in the comments the title of your book. You have a ton of books, so.
Oh, yeah, sure. So the let's see, the title of the first book that sold the 5 figures was Making Money Blogging, Moving Beyond Banner Ad Sales. At the time, everyone was completely fascinated with the idea of having somebody pay $50 to put an ad and sponsor your blog by putting their ad in the sidebar. And I really wanted to show people how they could develop this revenue stream of residual income through their writing. After that, I did a book called 30 Days to Make and Sell a Fabulous Ebook. It's since been expanded into a giant course, which has covers self-publishing as well. If you're looking at doing a print on demand, I highly recommend that course. And then some of the books that I wrote that were like nonfiction, traditionally published, was Backyard Farming on an Acre, more or less. I just finished a book called Gardening Like a Ninja, which is coming out next month. Woo! And
Awesome.
I know, I'm really excited. It's my first full color book. It's so pretty.
It's really pretty. It's really pretty.
It's the most gorgeous book I've ever produced. And then the self-published books that I've done are like Untrained Housewife Guide to Getting Prepared, and then the Untrained Housewife's Guide to Conquering Your Kitchen. All the recipes in that are 30-minute prep time or less, and it starts with like kitchen organization, meal prep, how to shop, like how to get through the grocery store. It's how to be the most efficient you can be in the kitchen, because I'm miserably inefficient. So this was a book I had somebody help me write just so that I could learn what I wanted to learn. And yes, okay, so that's that. Starting with the table of contents. Once you have your table of contents down, you never have an excuse for writer's block. And this is one of the things that I really love about it, is I can tend to be a little bit flighty. I'm the rabbit trail girl. I tend to be more of a pantser than a super organized person. Once I get that table of contents begun and fleshed out, I sit down to write chapter 1, and I'm looking at this blank page going, oh my word, what am I going to write? There's so many other things I could be doing right now. I really want to watch the next episode of whatever. And when I cut and paste my table of contents for chapter 1 over, now all of a sudden I have 100 words already started. I'm not looking at a blank screen anymore. I'm looking at this beautiful outline that I've already brainstormed, and I already have an idea of what I want to say, and I just begin to flesh it out.
The cool thing is, I'm going to talk about courses in just a little bit, and the same is really true for creating courses. Like you can actually take the same principle and, it's planning out kind of your modules for the course or your lessons. And the same thing, like once you have that down, it's so much easier to go ahead and just get into the creation.
In fact, one of the things I'm doing for Gardening Like a Ninja is I'm doing both.
Awesome.
I'm doing the course and the book.
And I think they go well together. So like if you write an ebook that's, especially if it's something that's kind of teaching about a topic, like a nonfiction kind of topic, it really does lend itself well to have a course that goes along with it.
Precisely. I have examples of, gardens that I wanted to include in the book that got cut for space. And so I'm able to flesh out some more of the details and then give more personal examples in the course that I probably couldn't have done in the book. So I'm really excited about approaching it that way and doing both, and being able to offer both. Now, types of ebooks, there's kind of the general make a PDF document and download off your website. This is what I have for Untrained Housewife. And that simple manifesto, 7 principles of intentional and self-sufficient living, has given me thousands of subscribers just by offering. It's like 25 pages. I was originally calling it an e-booklet because I didn't think there was enough pages to call it an e-book. And just having that little bit of an offering. Now, I had a graphic designer create that cover for me. It looks beautiful. She created some web banners as well, so I can advertise it in the sidebar or advertise it on Facebook if I want. And I do recommend that if you work with a graphic designer to create your cover art, have her go ahead and do web banners for you at the same time. If a friend wants to help you promote the book, they can put it up on their website, and you can use those banners in your marketing materials or advertising as well. So that's just, you know, it's not going to cost you as much if you do it all at once as if you go back to her a year down the road and say, oh, and I want this graphic and I want this graphic. So I do recommend that you, especially if you're working with somebody. I also recommend that you work with an editor. I had not a lot of cash to get an editor for the Making Money Blogging ebook that I had mentioned. And but I felt very strongly that I needed a second set of eyes on it. And so what I did is I pre-sold copies of the book. It was $25 for an ebook. If you bought it before I launched it, then I gave you a 30-minute consultation, which was like a $50 value. So I'd jump on the phone, I'd give you a personal consultation on your blog, and I sold more than enough to cover the cost of having an editor edit the book before it was produced. So because I had that table of contents, because I already had the cover art, I could pre-sell the book in order to hire the editor that I wanted to have help me with the book. So those are some tips for who I suggest you hire and how, if your money is tight, you can actually go about doing it. How to break the 250 mark. Okay, reviews are extremely important, especially if you're doing a book on Amazon. If you do have a book on Kindle or Amazon, I highly recommend that you continue giving away review copies until you hit at least 25 reviews. 25 is the minimum that you want to push for as quickly as possible. And the reason for that is that currently, under their current rules, last time I checked, Amazon's algorithm will begin to show your book in the Also Bought section after you hit 25 reviews. If you look at Amazon and you're looking at a book, and then underneath the book description, there's like the 6 other titles underneath there, and it says people who looked at this book also bought this, 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 and this. Those convert extremely well. So once your book begins to show up in the Also Boughts, you are going to be selling a lot more copies than when they're not in the Also Boughts. Guest posts. If I had one regret with backyard farming on an acre, more or less, it's that I only did 20 guest posts.
What, 20? Are you serious?
20. I had 50 people who offered to place guest posts, and I just fizzled out after 20.
That's awesome.
I would have done 1 million more, and I wish I had done 1 million more. They did really well for me, and one of the things that I always recommend you do is give people a reason to come back to you in your guest posts. So whether that's a free download or a supplemental printable or anything like that, give them a reason to come back to you. Also, be a courteous guest poster. Find a link or a post from the other person's blog and include a link to it in your post. Most bloggers interlink with their own content, but they never interlink with the host blog's content. And that really just shows that you're paying attention to them, that you're taking the time to customize your post to their audience, and make sure that what you submit to that specific blog is in keeping with what their other posts look like. The rest of it you can read. That's pretty self-explanatory. Wise opportunities whenever possible. So in the guest posts, I would always include a quote at the beginning of the post. That was a quote from my book. And so right at the very introduction of the post, it would say, you know, Angela England, backyard farming on an acre, more or less, page 15. And then it would have a link to that, to the Amazon listing of my book. And of course, I would always tell the blogger, oh, you know, make sure you put your affiliate link in there. And I would just tell them, and half the time they would. Well, I didn't care if they were getting 4% from Amazon and I sold a copy of the book. That was good for me. So you can trade for exposure. So if you have a blogger and you know that they're working on something, you can say, hey, my book is launching this month. Would you, you know, include a mention in your stuff this month, and next month when your course launches, I'll put you in my newsletter. Of course, promote to your list. That's huge. and then offer upgrades with your content. So I had always, even in my traditionally published books, I will include links to my website and say, oh, for more information, or to see a video of how this works, or to download more garden journal pages, visit my site, visit my site, visit my site. And I would put the link to that blog post. In Gardening Like a Ninja, I say, come join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups edible landscaping guide. And I just went and made the group in the middle of the summer when I was still writing the book. The publisher left the link in there. They're not going to take that out 9 times out of 10. They're happy that you want to connect with the readers and keep them engaged, because happy readers are reviewing you, they're promoting you, they're talking about you, they're saying to a friend, oh, I read this awesome book, and you can even like talk to the author in this Facebook group. Oh, well, that's awesome. I want to buy that book. So anytime that you can kind of just think about it strategically, and consider your book like a formal invitation to a deeper connection, then you're going to be making the most of every opportunity that you have.
Which I think is a really great point, because, a lot of people don't, as we move into talking about courses and digital courses, online courses, a lot of people don't take the full opportunity, like you're talking about within ebooks, to do all that linking. Like they don't realize, like, oh, we can do that. And you totally can. Like, even if you're doing a PDF, if you're sending a PDF to somebody and they're reading on their computer, you can have links in there too, which is awesome. And so, yeah, you have all these awesome opportunities.
I even use things like click to tweet for some of the quotable stuff in the ebook. In my free guide, my free Untrained Housewife book, it has click to tweet on some of the like quotable little snippets, and I pull that out, and people can click it, and it'll just automatically pre-fill the tweet with a link to my newsletter subscription page.
That's awesome. There's so many smart little details of how you can use an ebook. And this is why a lot of people offer a perma-free ebook on Amazon, which kind of requires, if you want it to be permanently free, you have to offer it permanently free somewhere else, because Amazon price matches. And then you could use a site like Noise Trade for that. And then Amazon will drop that book forever, as long as it's free somewhere else, to free on their site. And then you can have that book really heavily promote, especially in the beginning, to sign up for your email newsletter and give them another free book or something else. And so that's a really great way to just build your list and build your audience, which is really what email lists are all about. So I want to talk now about creating courses, which really do go hand in hand with ebooks in a lot of ways. And I love hearing that you're doing a course for Gardening Like a Ninja, the book that's the one you're doing, right?
Yes.
Okay, which is
awesome.
I'm
really excited about it.
So something that is really insane to know, and I just learned this, is that ed tech, in other words, like online learning and courses, it's a $107 billion industry as of 2015. Okay, so I don't know, maybe put in the chat, have you ever taken an online course? I don't mean a college course, I mean like an outside of college type course. So just stick that in the chat. But right now courses are massive, but the cool thing is they have not yet peaked. So it's like one of those things, like, everything that becomes trendy and popular starts as only a few people are doing it. Then it kind of goes to the masses, and then it just becomes that explosive thing. So we're sort of right at the edge of that explosive point. And because it takes like a big corporation way longer, like we were talking about for publishing, way longer than scrappy entrepreneurs like you and I, then you and I can create a course now. Like I will tell you, Angela and I have been planning the Creative Profitability course that we're going to offer you guys at the end. We've been planning this for months, but the actual how long it took to put the course together, I mean, it took a while, but like you could do it in a month. You could do it if you didn't have kids or stayed up all night, you could do it. So it's possible to do it now. And the cool thing also is that courses can be anything. And I really mean that. So I'm going to give you guys some examples of courses. Okay, this is the Upstream Field Guide. And if you guys follow The Art of Simple, it used to be Simple Mom. So she does, Tish Oxenreider does a lot of just simplifying your life, focus on family, don't, minimalist, not just in having stuff, but your life. So she created a course called the Upstream Field Guide. And it's kind of like, if you had to boil it down, it's kind of like planning a family vision statement of just getting your life going in the direction you want. So that's a course. Another one, this is an example of a free course. Oh, and look, see, you can tell I signed up. I took a screenshot with my stuff in it.
Yeah, they're all going to email you.
Yep, I've gotten it. I've been getting it the last couple of days because I love Money Saving Mom, Crystal Payne, if any of you guys follow her.
She's great, yeah.
Yeah, so I think she also has a paid course, but I didn't find that. I was in a hurry making the slide. So anyway, you can see her free course, which is a great way to grow your email list. But her course, it's a free 5-day course. It's like 5 emails. Each one has a like 2-minute video. And want to make a full-time income from home? Yes, I do. So that's a cool. This one I thought was really interesting. It's a digital scrapbooking course, and this one's on teachable.com. Your stories will never be the same, documenting your life. I'm not really interested in digital scrapbooking, but apparently, according to like some of the sales copy, which is not in this shot, like it sold thousands of copies. And I'm like, well, apparently a lot of people are into digital scrapbooking. Okay, and this one's from the Nester. If you know her, she's another favorite of mine. She has 2 courses right here, kind of 2 versions of the same course, the Cozy Minimalist and the Cozy Minimalist Mom. And I actually just bought the Cozy Minimalist Mom for my sister-in-law, whose birthday's today. So, and these were like, I think $40 courses, and it's all about home decor and lifestyle. So that's another example of just totally different kind of course. And then this is a course called Make Better, which I actually got a chance to take through a sponsorship opportunity I had as a blogger. And this is an online course that's way more kind of artsy fartsy than some of the other ones, although I've tried to give you guys kind of off the beaten path examples. But this one was basically about helping you become a better artist, storyteller, whatever. It didn't matter what kind of creative you were. Are you a woodworker? Cool, you can take the course. Are you a writer? You can take the course. Do you just want to like be more creative? You can take the course. And so this is a course, Make Better. And it, you know, again, just to show you guys that there are online courses in all varieties. So if you're thinking about creating an online course, or you're not sure like, hey, could I do that? You start by finding your profitable course idea. And I put the word profitable in there because you could just create a course. Like if your point is not to make money, you could totally create a course. You could run it for free as an email course through an autoresponder series on your email. Or you could try to make a profit. And if you want it to be a profitable course, you have to find that intersection of what you know and then what people will pay for. Because I know a lot of stuff, but a lot of people won't pay for it. But as you can see from those examples, I think you might be surprised. And teachable.com is one of my favorite sites for taking online courses because the user experience is really great. And they talk often about, if you go to any of their trainings or hit their blog up, one of their really popular courses is like a watercolor course, like how to create watercolors. And I think the woman has sold like 60,000 of them. And doesn't matter what she's charging, like for her course, that's an awesome profit for a watercolor artist, especially compared to how much she might be making. Just knowing I have artist friends, like how much it can cost and you know how much you make to be an artist. So things to think about, and this has to do kind of with Angela, what she said with ebooks as well, a lot of the time. So will it solve a problem that people have? So like the bigger the pain point for people, like if they're like, I've got to get this figured out, the more likely you are to make a sale. Will people be transformed? You know, it's not just about information. Like, okay, will I learn ABC? It's will I be transformed? Like think about photography. Like if you have a DSLR camera and you're like, I don't know how to use the stinking thing. It took me, I think 6 months to put my camera off the automatic mode because I was like, I don't understand all the buttons. You know, a course could take you from here you are with a DSLR camera and you don't know how to use it, and you're going to be transformed into someone who's very comfortable using manual mode. That's the kind of transformation I'm talking about. And then will it make someone money? Because realistically, a lot of the most popular courses are ones talking about making people money. And we all want to make money. So for a lot of people, that's really attractive. So just in general, if your course helps them make money, it doesn't matter what it is.
Right. And that's what I say about the ebooks too. It's like, are you teaching someone a new skill? Are you saving them money or teaching them to make money? Are you entertaining them? And if you can find the trifecta of kind of all of that at the same time, then that is going to be completely genius.
Yes. So the cool thing about online courses, your course can be anything. It could be written, it could be video, it could be audio, it could be a combination thereof. The first course I actually created was for Social Fabric or Collective Bias. If any of you bloggers have worked with them, they do sponsored posts for people. And this is where I got my first taste of creating courses. And of course I sold it to them, which means I can't use it now. And then later when I started creating my own courses and selling them myself, I kind of kicked myself for that because I can't access this. Now, I was teaching a lot of the same stuff, so I talked to them about the fact that I was still going to talk about a lot of this, and so we worked out the rights and all that. But that was a purely written course. Yeah, purely written. There were no videos or anything else. It was just like a straight up go and read it. It's written. My email course, which is the first course that I created to sell, it's called Own Your List, and that is a combination. Now, it started with more written content and then some kind of bonus videos, but I'm actually going to go back through this month and record a new video for at least one video for each module in the course. But I did have audio.
Super helpful though.
Yeah, it is nice because everybody has a different learning style. And so if you can take that into account, that's great. I'm a podcast.
Those of us on limited data streams can't do all the videos.
Yeah,
we have to read the transcripts.
Well, and I do a lot of it in my car when I'm shuffling kids back and forth. And
yeah.
So, I am often listening to a YouTube video. So for me, audio, I'm like, I wish it was just audio because I'm not watching anyway. So it can be anything. And then course promotion, to me, promotion is always the biggest headache for books, for whatever. I'm going to talk about webinars in just a second. Webinars, courses, it's all hard. I mean, like promotion's just one of those things that never gets easier, but you just find little hacks here and there. So you can promote through social channels. And I don't know where you guys heard about this today. I think probably a lot of you through my email list, some of you on Twitter. I know Angela emailed people. You can also
I think I posted in about a dozen Facebook
Awesome.
groups,
Yeah. So Facebook groups are like the king, but you also have to like follow the rules. A lot of them don't want you promoting. And that's where it gets really tricky because it's hard. I'm like, I know people would benefit from this free training, but I can't tell them about it because I'm not allowed.
I promise you'll learn something. I swear.
I swear. So you can do a free course funnel like the Money Saving Mom example. So that free email course will link to, I'm sure I haven't gotten to the links yet, will link to her paid course. Or
her book, or yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's definitely linked to her book already. You can also do it through your email list. You can promote by asking people to be affiliates. So like if you have a product to sell that well, obviously the course is the product, but you can have people sign up to be affiliates either through the technology on your site that makes the course, or if you deliver it, like if I sell mine through DPD, Digital Product Delivery, and they allow affiliates. And so people can get a commission. So they're like, yes, I want to promote it because I get 30%. Right. Or you can do through a webinar. And so I'm going to move to talk about webinars. Also, you guys, I know we're flying because we have so much content. We're going to do a Q&A as well once we're done. So if you stick around for this, and the Art of Better posted in her favorite Facebook group. Thank you so much.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so we'll take time for questions because I feel like we're giving you guys like just vomiting all this information from you. So hang on to your questions and if you have them. If you haven't noticed, you're on a webinar right now. I mean, I like to call them workshops, but like the technical term is webinar. It's like a web seminar, but webinars are everywhere. I am a huge nerd. I love online courses. I sign up for like 4 webinars a week.
Never would have guessed.
No, I know, right? I sign up for probably 4 webinars a week. I usually do not make them live because they just are always at weird times. Like it's just so hard because if you have kids, well, it's just hard.
Because kids. Yeah.
Because kids. So I always sign up, and if I can't go live, I'll get the replay, and then I have to decide. If I sign up for 4 a week, I don't have time for that. But I'll, at the gym again, I'll watch the replay at the gym and stuff.
Right.
So webinars, they're really beneficial because they can grow your list. Like you get signups for people, they register, and then you have their email, and then they can always unsubscribe later, and plenty of people do. But if they come, like you guys showing up today, if you didn't already know me and Angela, hopefully you're seeing that we have expertise and knowledge. I don't like calling myself an expert, but I think I know a lot of stuff. Like I'll say that. And then I also have a lot of things I don't know anything about, but I'm not going to teach you on those things, right? I'll bring in somebody else or whatever, or I won't teach on it. But it's also a way to connect with your audience. Like it's really fun. I've been doing, like I said at the beginning, 1 to 2, I call them live trainings a month. It's really technically a webinar, but it's the same kind of thing as this, where people come and I talk about something. I have slides. Last week I did one on images, and we walked through PicMonkey and Canva, and I showed people how I create images quickly. And it was really fun because now that I've done these for a few months, the same people start to show up, and I get to know them. We connect on Twitter, because when you guys, if you get to that thank you page and you tweet it out, I go follow you on Twitter if I haven't already followed you. And if I haven't gotten to you today, it's because I was too busy for this, and I'll get to you. But I connect with people that way, and it makes a great connection with the audience. And then it also can be a great way if you are selling something, because you're presenting people, you're already showing them how much you know, and you're helping them understand, like, hey, we can help you even more. The challenges of webinars. tech always fails. And Angela and I,
This is why I was laughing earlier.
we were scrambling because the Google Hangout, like the way you run webinars, there's like all these itty bitty steps and you have to do them all right. And sometimes
This is basically our 4th Hangout today.
Yeah, it is. We had to keep creating them and then recreating them because we couldn't both get on the same call. It always happens. That's actually the least faily thing I've ever had happen. I've had worse. Much worse.
It hated Kirsten. I finally had to make it myself, and then just, like,
Google Hangouts is mad. It's mad
at her.
It can also be nerve-wracking to do it live.
It is.
It is, and
especially with 5 kids in the house, I just keep thinking someone's going to run in here and say something incredibly annoying, and I'm going to be like,
then it'll be humorous.
I just want to die.
But the more you do it, the more you get used to it. And the very first one I did, I invited like 5 people, and I had a friend moderate the comments, which was great because the comments failed. I couldn't see them, only she could. So whatever.
Oh, no.
And you also have the thing of like, what if nobody shows up? And that happens, like usually they say like 10% of people who sign up show up, and that's kind of crazy. And then again, like I mentioned, there's so many moving parts to the tech side. The cool thing is, if you learn how to do all these things, you can totally handle a webinar. They're not that big of a deal. You can plan for all the tech failures every time. I know something will go wrong. I don't know what it is, but I know we'll get past it. You get used to the live aspect. As I said, you can practice with a few friends, practice with your husband, like in the bedroom, be like, hey, you go in the bedroom and I'm going to do this webinar and you're going to watch and just tell me how it goes. And they will grow over time because the more you do them, the more your list will grow. People will talk about it if you did a good job and presented great content. And then you can totally manage the parts. It's just kind of time consuming and it takes practice. And you also need to know the parts. And so if you ever want to do a webinar, and this is, again, we want you guys to have a great training, but we also, to really fully explain all this stuff, it would take hours. Like literally, it does take hours because in the module on webinars, there's like there's probably 8-9 videos. But the basic webinar formula, if you want to be super basic, you can be expensive and use the webinar software, but those things crash too, let me tell you, because I've gotten emails from people like Pat Flynn saying, hey, sorry, my webinar crashed on my like $400 a month webinar software that I use. But the basic webinar formula is you create a Google Hangout, you embed the code on your page, you embed a chat code, and then if you're doing a sale, you embed a buy button, which you'll see down below ours, and then you have an Insta webinar. So it's that simple. Yay. With a lot more moving parts to it. But like if you're kind of like, I would love to do one, but I think I couldn't handle it. You could. You just kind of need to know. And then most of the webinars you go to these days are sales, and this one is, but a lot of the ones I do, and actually I've been to other ones that aren't, and it's refreshing, but I don't mind the sales because usually people are offering you something you want, hopefully. But there are people making thousands and thousands in webinars, but to do that, you really need a list to get people to show up to your webinar, a problem you can solve, a demonstration of expertise, and a fabulous product. Okay, so, and you also need to do a pitch that motivates people to act. And so this is very meta, but we're going to share with you, I hinted at it in the beginning or kind of mentioned it, that we're offering you guys who are here live, you guys are so awesome. We're offering you guys a special deal on our course, Creative Profitability, which is basically, it's all the stuff we've talked about today, but expand it. Okay, we didn't try to leave anything out of this. It's just you can't cram that much in. And again, we'll answer questions in a sec. So I'm going to do a pitch, and I will tell you my favorite pitches are the pitches where somebody says, hey, guess what? I'm going to tell you about a product now, and I think you're going to love it. And if you don't, that's cool, because if you guys don't buy it, I'm so glad you still hung out with us today, and that's totally fine.
Exactly.
So here is the Creative Profitability course. And Angela, since I've been talking forever, do you want to like jump in and I'll just keep flipping? We can kind of go back and forth. I don't want to be too chatty.
No, that's fine. No, you did great. And I love what you were talking about too, because I feel like when we have something important that we want to say, most of us are blogging or we're active online digitally and socially because we have something that we want to get out there. And what I encourage you guys to realize is that there's not just one right way to do it. And so what I love about this course is that Kirsten and I have come together, and what we're talking about is all of it. How to do the books, how to do courses, how to do your newsletter and really get that under control, how to do guest posts and magazine writing and take the writing that you're doing for yourself and begin to make that profitable as you do that for other people. And because
sorry,
that's okay. No, and so that's what Creative Profitability, this course, is all about. Each module introduces different ways that I feel like are very interconnected. So one of the modules that I took lead on was creating the ebooks. And I delved in depth into all of these topics that we talked about. I'm sorry, I'm at the ranch. This dog, I've been here.
Working dogs, part of a webinar. I've been here
for an hour and a half, and she's just now barking at me because I'm talking and I can't believe myself. This is real life, folks. This is how it goes. So with the ebooks, you know, one of the things that I love is that this is a way to build your profitability as a writer, but it also leads into other things, the webinars, the courses, building up your newsletter subscribers. So then the next module in the course, Kirsten took the lead on, and she's talking about building your email list.
And this is really all about, like, if you're a blogger especially, I feel like too long we have let page views be the main metric and the main thing we go for. And it's such a fleeting thing. Like I keep mentioning this example, but I've hit that 100K a month mark of how many page views I had, and then the next month it was gone. But my email list kept growing steadily. And so this section is going to talk about how to reframe your mind, whether you have a blog or you're talking about selling ebooks or courses, whatever it is, how to make your email list the backbone of that, how to grow your list, how to build relationships with your people that lead to sales. Because the other thing is, Angela and I are not smarmy salespeople. Like, it's always hard for me to pitch things, even if I believe in the product, because I don't like sales. It feels icky to me. Even if I know, like, I know you're going to love it. I really do. I'm so proud of this course, but it's still hard because I think we all have that sense that you've all had somebody sell to you in a way that's icky, right? I mean, we all know what that's like. It's just life. And so email list, you're not building your list to make sales. You're building your list to connect with people, knowing that it's a great, you know, that you can make sales from it. So it's all about how to do that, but without being icky. Okay. No smarmy sales here.
Oh, this is me. So module 3, I talk about how you can leverage your writing into paid opportunities or use guest posts that might not be paid in and of themselves to leverage additional benefits for yourself. So this really goes through, and like, in my opinion, if you implement the techniques that I tell you in this module and you visit some of the sites and the databases that I show you where to find, if you sent out magazine queries and started implementing some of these techniques, you could easily make back not just what you spent on the course, but exponentially, just by implementing some of these techniques, which it's one of the areas that I see bloggers neglect more than anything else that we're talking about. This is a way to get really creative with how you do your outreach, and if you do it smart, not only will you get paid, but you'll actually be getting paid to advertise the other things that you have going on, which is amazing. I mean, when I launched, I talk about this in the lesson, when I launched Backyard Farming on an acre more or less, and then I did some paid magazine queries. I actually got paid like $600 that summer to advertise my book and promote my book. It was crazy. But that's exactly how this kind of thing can work. And you know, it was like from one weekend of queries that I sent out using the techniques that I show you. And in the module, in the course, I actually have the exact queries that I used that resulted in paid article placements. So,
which is great, because
I don't hold anything back. You see the exact words that I said.
Yeah. And I love that, because it's really nice to see those exact blueprints, the exact words, because then you have a framework, like, not that you copy and paste, but you're like, okay, this worked for somebody. How can I put this in my own words?
Right. So I show you all of the elements, like, here's you know, what you should have. And then I show you, like, my first attempt, how somebody helped me kind of brainstorm and work through it, polish it. And then the exact one that I sent out that resulted in an editor saying, yes, we would love to publish your work.
And the same thing actually in email, I forgot to mention, I actually saved, I have some swipe files in there of emails that we have sent that worked for selling courses. So sales emails that actually worked and what they look like. And then I also kind of went through my inbox and saved some of like ones I either wanted to buy or did buy from other people. So you guys are going to see some like exact blueprints and strategies and things that like literally worked for us or other people.
Right. All of the modules include those kinds of trainings and handouts and checklists and worksheets to make it very doable.
So module 4 is the beast, and I'm calling it that because webinars, like I said, all the moving parts. So it's going to take you from creating the content and how to handle like what kind of webinar you can have and what you can do with it, running the actual webinar, handling the registration and replay, which there are always hiccups. Like there were people, I know, Art of Better, you were tweeting at me because you needed the link, and so because I think you signed up after I'd sent the link and then you didn't get it. So like there's always these little hiccups that you have to kind of be prepared for. And once you've done like 20 of them, like I have, you can kind of like troubleshoot. And then also talking about how to do your pitch. And so I talk through that and just kind of show you guys how, you're seeing a little of it now. I hope this pitch is awesome. Like we're just talking about how much we think our course rocks and how much I'm excited. I have not taken Angela's parts. We kind of talked while we created our separate parts because we have separate areas that we know really well. And I can't wait to do hers because I have ebooks that I really need to be doing better than they are. Like they're not selling anything. And I'm like, okay, let's get on that. So Angela, you're going to help me with that.
Totally.
And then module 5 is going to be all about creating courses, why you should start now, how to find your profitable idea, and going into way more depth than we did today, because again, in like an hour-long training, we just can't fully, we're not trying to hold back right here. We just can't fully do all the stuff in an hour. The videos
we talked as fast as we could.
I know, I'm like flying through, but the videos like 20 to 30 minute videos for most of these things. So where to host your course, because this is, Angela and I like, there's just a big headache of trying to figure out, okay, is it going to be on my own site? Am I going to build it myself with plugins or a theme? Am I going to, pay somebody like Teachable 10% of every course to have it there and then not worry about the text? So I talk you through all of your options. Not literally every single one because there's probably 500, but I talk through some of the main ones that people use that I've actually taken courses on and how to do that. So, so you guys, this course, if you're interested in creating your own digital stuff, if you're interested in managing your own income and kind of getting ahead of the curve, and really knowing all the details, all the moving parts to all of these different things, or even if you're like, okay, I know I don't want to do courses, but I really want to do ebooks well. I really want to do ebooks. I want to grow my email list to sell those ebooks. This course has something for you. So the normal price for this course, which is just now launching, is $397. And also part of course, we talk about pricing in the course module, but part of that is you're actually charging people not so much for how many hours, how long it is, how many modules, but it's about the value. And so the reason that the value is $397 is because we really feel like you can make that money back. You can make that money back and more if you're implementing the stuff we're teaching you. So I mentioned there was a live special and it's $197. So we're taking $200 off for those of you guys who are here now, but that's not all.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. That's a cheesy pitch part.
Sorry, I had to say it.
No, you did. But Angela and I have also created other courses. So for those of you guys who are here live, you will get both of the other courses. My course, Own Your List, which is email, like you're going to get email in Creative Profitability, but you're not going to get email A to Z. Own Your List is every single thing. Every single thing email, it's all in there. This is more focused on how to utilize your list in terms of the things that you're selling. And then Angela's Achieve Your Publishing Dreams. So if you want to talk about just that really briefly so people know what's in there.
Sure. So the thing that differentiates this from what you're getting in the course is that Creative Profitability focuses more on the digital aspects and how to get those things up and on your blog and onto Kindle pretty quickly. Achieve Your Publishing Dreams is really, it's a breakdown of the system that I used for a client who paid me over $10,000 to produce his book for him. And it really focuses more in depth on the self-publishing aspect and the print-on-demand stuff as well. So Achieve Your Publishing Dreams is 30 lessons. It's massive. It's a huge deal.
It really is. So like creative profitability, it's not that it's just a tiny glimpse. It's not that it's just like a crash course, but it's
it's complete for what it covers. It just doesn't cover the print on demand.
So we're going to move into a Q&A in just a second. But if you guys, we're going to leave the buy button up until the Q&A is over. So if you buy during the live time, you're going to get 3 courses for the price of less than 1. And I actually did math. I had to get out my calculator because that's my life. It's basically $1,191 value for $197. It's awesome. And Angela and I, one of the things that we're going to add in there is we have a Facebook group for this, a private Facebook group, and we want to do a challenge to see who can earn the money back they paid for the course first. And so we're really going to encourage you guys and spur you guys on if you take this plunge. If you don't want to buy today during the live part, you can still get 2 of the courses. Like you can creative profitability, pick one, either Angela's or mine for $197. But if you're buying now, you're getting that bonus course. And after this week, we're not going to offer a bonus course, and the price is going to go up to what the regular price is, so $397. So, creative profitability, achieve your publishing dreams, own your list, private Facebook group. Plus, I added this in, I didn't tell Angela, but I will, if you want to do a webinar, I will moderate your first webinar for you because you need somebody in there with you who's like on your side, who's taking care of stuff. Because Angela and I do this for each other when we have a joint one. Like we'll watch this. So we're going to do Q&A now. And if you guys want to buy the buy button.
That's what you notice when I'm talking, it was Kirsten in the chat. And when she was talking, it was me in the chat. So
you've just got to have somebody there. So I will be that person for you. I will moderate your first webinar and help you get it set up.
She will be your person.
I will be your person. And I don't even know what
that's worth $197 alone right there.
I don't think it's worth that much, but it's worth something.
It's totally worth that much.
It's hard to do your first one. Okay, so we're going to do a Q&A time. I don't know, Angela, if you want to like put our faces back on there, and you know, people, if you want to buy, the button's there. As soon as we're done with the Q&A, it's gone. So you will get the replay and the option for buying 2 courses, but the 3 courses only now.
Okay.
So that's it. Whew, I feel like I need to take like a lot of breaths.
Oh, you have to put your face back on there. You have to stop the screen sharing.
Oh, am I still screen sharing?
No. Okay. Yeah. There. Okay, no. I see.
I'm back.
I just didn't for a while.
See, webinar tech, you guys. There's all these things you have to get ready. So,
that's right.
Okay. So if you guys want to type your questions into the chat, if you have them, you guys have stuck around through a whirlwind, super fast talking thing.
We got done in good time. We said an hour. We did exactly an hour.
We were very timely, and I'm excited.
That's because I'm Italian and I can talk 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't too fast, but that's why we're here for questions. So just type them into the chat if you guys have them. I hope you have some.
Yeah, I will talk about what you had mentioned, affiliates. And I didn't mention that in relation to my books, but I will tell you, when I had affiliate sales, about 40% of my sales came through affiliate sales, came through affiliate referrals, which is amazing because you know, anytime that you can extend the reach, I meant 60%. 40% came from me and 60% came from those people telling other people as affiliates. And that made such a huge, significant boost to my income and what that book would have done, being able to have those referrals come in like that. So I highly recommend leveraging, that way you're not having to do everything yourself. Affiliates can be really beneficial.
And if you aren't sure how the affiliate stuff works, we can talk about that really briefly because that's, you know, whether it's for your course or your books. Clearly Amazon, that's a totally different thing. But if you're selling books on your site, you can actually use, so courses or books. eJunkie is one that a lot of people use. Send Owl, like OWL, like the bird. Send Owl is another one. I've used them. Gumroad, people use Gumroad. I use DPD, which is getdpd.com. But the nice thing is they handle all that stuff for you. They handle the payments. They handle getting, getting all those affiliate things. You set the percentage, and then people just sign up, and it walks them through. And I have a website. I have a page on my website. So if you guys actually want to be an affiliate, if you like the product and you're like, I want to be an affiliate. If you go to createifwriting.com/affiliates after, and I think Angela's probably typing that in, or if she isn't, she will.
I am right now.
yeah, you guys get 30% of this course. And so the price if somebody buys through your link, which is awesome. Oh, awesome. We have a sale and I'm going to say, Jennifer, welcome to the course.
Yay!
That's awesome. And all the chat names are weird. So Jennifer is you'll have to tell us what your name is in the chat if you're in the chat. I know some people are watching mobile and you can't actually chat probably, but Jennifer, you will be getting all your login information. We have to send that to you manually because of how we have our setup, but we'll get you in the Facebook group and we will get you all your login stuff. So yay, welcome, Jennifer. We're glad to have you.
The Art of Better asks if there is information about affiliate programs in the course. I know that I talk about affiliate programs. I talk about the plugin that I use. And I know that in the course section, we will also be talking about that.
Yeah, I don't think I did a little video on the back end, but I may. That's the cool thing is, I know Angela, so she's like this too. But like anything that we feel like has been missed or you guys do, like we're gonna add that in. So like, I think I talked about it, but I don't think I did a video of how to set that up. So I'll do a video training on that as well because that's super easy to put together. And it really is helpful to have people as affiliates for your program because then they're selling for you because they know that they get a commission as well. And so email, you're not actually allowed to use Amazon affiliate links in your email that you send out to people through, MailChimp or whoever you're using, but you can totally be an affiliate for these kinds of products in your email. So this is a great way. Like a lot of people are affiliates for those ultimate bundles and those kinds of things. And so this is something also I could talk about in the email section. This is the thing, this course, all these things kind of weave together. Like if you get the idea of how to promote an ebook, a lot of that same stuff translates over to how to promote your course, promote your webinar, how to promote your email list. And then it's kind of neat to see how it all flows. So.
And a lot of times you can use one to promote the other. It's just like that example of Money Making Mom was using a 5-day email course that is building up her newsletter list, and she's going to use that to promote her paid products. One of the things that I'm doing with Edible Landscaping is I'm going to have one price point for people to buy the course without the book, and then slightly higher to get a signed copy of the book. And of course, the price point will cover my cost to pick up the book at the author discount price, so I can sign it and ship it. The shipping cost will be kind of buffered into the price point of that course. And so the course will actually be leveraged to sell the book. And that will make me look good to the publisher and hopefully help with royalties as well.
I saw Lisa asked a couple questions. Don't worry, Lisa, if you accidentally put an Amazon link in an email, I don't think they'll get you. I think I was doing that until I knew. Like I don't do a ton of affiliates through Amazon, but I'm sure I had done it at least once or twice. So they're not going to probably come get you. Just don't do them anymore. But Lisa asked how many pages should a book be that you're offering free for like an email subscription?
Well, that's a really good question. On backyardfarmingguide.com, I offer like the garden journal pages that were in the back of the book. And so I tell people they can go to the website to download full-size copies, and it's just a couple of printables, and that's it. And, I have done zero promotion, and I just looked, and that list is like over 2,500 subscribers. Well, off of very little, promotion and stuff. That's not a website that I link to all the time. And so sometimes it really depends. The ebooklet that's on Untrained Housewife is the 7 Principles of Intentional and Self-Sufficient Living. I think it's around 23 or 25 pages long. And that's as long as it needed to be to cover the material. I've also seen people give away, hundreds of pages, full-size book. And it really just depends on partly what your goal is, what your audience expects, and how much room and space you need to cover what that topic is about, what you need to cover.
You don't have to give away, and this is covered in my own your list course way heavier than it is here because it's more focused on all those aspects of your list. But you can actually give away a 1-page PDF. Like it does not have to be a full book. It's all about the value. Like I've definitely joined people's email lists for a 1-page PDF.
That's right.
And some people like Amy Porterfield, who I love, she's an entrepreneur and talks about entrepreneur-y type things. And she has a great podcast. And for every episode, she has a download. And I've downloaded, like probably 30 of her things. But like half the time it's like a 1-page checklist. Like here's what you need to know before you put up a webinar. Like here's your webinar checklist. And a webinar checklist, by the way, is something included in this course. But like it's not something she's given away, but that's just an example. Like she gave away a whole little, like, it was only 5 pages, but like a 5-page booklet on how to do Facebook ads. You know, it doesn't have to be all one thing. I've seen people give away audio files. I've seen people give away video. Like Money Saving Mom, you could do a course through autoresponders, which is really cool. So it could be any of those things. The point is you want to try to target that freebie or that giveaway to your audience. Are you trying to build up an audience of people to read and buy your books? Then you might want to give away a book. Are you trying to build up an audience of people who want to learn about a particular topic? It probably doesn't matter how long. If you give them a 1-page PDF that answers like one major problem they have, that's awesome. You know, I have a 2-page giveaway on the site somewhere, but I think it comes up for a pop-up, but it's like 6 mistakes you might be making with your email list right now. 2 pages, but like people download that because they're like, what if I'm making these mistakes right now? They want to know.
Exactly.
And I want to say welcome to Emily, who just bought the course as well.
Yay.
So yay, Emily, my love for words. We'll be getting you the information for the courses and also to get in the Facebook group. So we're excited to have you guys. We already have some people in the Facebook group who pre-purchased back in November before the course was even created. So we have a nice little group in there and we're all working on making
brilliant things, of course. Yes. With Untrained Housewife, I styled the ebook as the Untrained Housewife Manifesto. And so it really was, you know, when I retitled it, The 7 Principles of Intentional and Self-Sufficient Living, it was designed so that somebody who read that book could say, yes, I agree with these things, or no, that makes no sense to me at all. And if it made no sense to them at all, then they would just unsubscribe and be like, I'm never going back to that crazy woman's site again, which is fine because nothing that I would write there would make sense to them or appeal to them. So it really, in a lot of ways, self-selected the audience for the website. And I have a very engaged subscriber list because of it, because they've read that, it resonates with them, and so they feel very positive towards the other things that I'm writing already as a result. And I think that that is another thing that can be really powerful, because when you create something like that that's longer than 500-word blog post, it gives people the chance to connect with you more. Through these live webinars, you feel more connected with us because you've been able to see us and you know that we're real, and you hear us and you see our mistakes, and it just makes it that much easier to relate to what we're saying when we share a struggle that we're having or how we overcame an obstacle. It's easier for you to relate to that and feel like you're willing to trust what we're saying about that as a result. And so don't be afraid to kind of put that stuff out there when you're writing something. You know, if you have an opinion on this subject and this is what your blog is about, then make that known, because that's going to make a difference.
And there's a discussion, a very hearty discussion going on about affiliate links in there. So for anybody who's not in the chat, like if you're watching on mobile, you probably aren't seeing it. We're discussing where you can use affiliate links. And let's see who made the point. One of our anonymous 3957 said that you can't actually use affiliate links in MailChimp. And I've heard somebody else say that you can't also, and they're wrong. You can, but Amazon, their policy is the one that prevents it. They say no, and they say no for ebooks. You can't put Amazon affiliate links in your ebooks, PDFs, or email. It has to be on some kind of like a website, or you can use them on Facebook. Although I've heard debate about that, but people do it. So yeah, Amazon, but lots of other affiliates you can use in your email. And if you have an engaged list, and you know, I don't think you should sell to your list all the time. I think that's not a good way to grow an authentic list of people who really care, because you want to grow an audience, right? You don't want to grow a bunch of sales. It's not numbers, it's people. And when you shift your mind to know that it's people, then it makes all the difference. And I think that being genuine and authentic makes you more sales. And you're not going to feel, again, like you're not going to feel smarmy and gross about yourself when you're done with the day. Like that's not how you want to live your life. And welcome to Christina to the course. We're so excited to have you. You'll be getting your information. So I'm glad you guys are taking advantage. And we really do want to answer, I mean, even if it's an unrelated topic to what we talked about today, like if there are other things that are on your mind, if we have something to say about them, we will. And clearly we say a lot. So we might. But yeah, just
we're not shy.
We're not shy at all, but keep typing your questions. We'll chat for another 20 minutes or so. If you guys have questions, if you don't and you all disappear, we'll go. Yeah, the longer we're here, the longer you have to snag the bundle of all 3 courses, which is just kind of an awesome value. $1,000 off. I did that math in my head. almost 1,000. It's like 94, 1,000, no, 900, 994, 900, 994. See, this is math. Don't ask me math questions, y'all. No math. And Lisa wants to show up and ride your horse at your house.
Yes. Well,
is that a bonus? Fast action bonus?
Yeah, right. Smokey, you can come and ride Smokey. Bailey, we're not riding her a lot right now because she is still recovering from her ordeal at the slaughterhouse or feedlot. She's not healthy yet. She's definitely not 100%, and she's not 100% out of the woods yet either. So we are doctoring her and worming her, and bless her heart, she needs to gain about 150 pounds, and she'll be a lot healthier. She'll be a lot happier. But she was pretty perky this morning. I walked out of the house, and it was like, hello, good morning. Where is my feed bucket? And she was like right at the gate, like, hello, bring me my food now.
I want to take a road trip and come visit you. Angela lives on like a farm and has horses and, you know, farm life, right?
Animals, chickens,
I just
dogs,
imagine you on this, like,
kids, cats.
Do you have goats? I want goats so bad.
We used to have goats, and I had to get rid of them because we had fencing issues. So it was like, spend $1,000 fixing the fence for the goats, or sell the goats and buy a new house where I could eventually have goats without all of the issues and mad neighbors. So we have since moved. So we are on 2.5 acres now, and it's much nicer setup. I will have goats again very soon. I did not anticipate rescuing horses before buying my goats, and we surprised our kids so much.
That's so cool.
How do you use social media to grow your audience? That's a really good question. Eric had just asked. Well, do you want to talk about it in terms of email list?
Yeah, I will. So when we talk about growing your audience, I think Amy Schmidauer from Savvy Sexy Social is a fantastic resource for all this stuff. She has a great YouTube channel that's Savvy Sexy Social, and I just interviewed her on the podcast. And I like the way that she talks about it, because she talks about using kind of all your social media and your blog as kind of a funnel. Like, okay, so social media, you want to get people, and your blog, you want to get people, the bottom line is your email list, because that's more permanent and more lasting. So it's not that every single day you're just putting up links, hey, go join my email list. But you want to give people incentives. You want to give those freebies. You want to like tell people like, hey, here's what's happening. Here's what's going on. I like to, sometimes when I'm writing my, like I have a couple different lists. Okay. Right. So we talk about one list, but often you may have more than one. I have a lifestyle blog, KirstenOliphant.com. That's my big blog with all the page views and like the smaller list and less engaged, because a lot of them come from Pinterest. They want one thing and then they go. Or they sign up for my list and then it's not what they think it's going to be, because I'm a writer and I talk, but, or just write, you know, write things. It's just different, I think, than what they expect, even though I try to get their expectations like, you know, but anyway, I try to bring people back. Like when I'm writing that email every week, I'll put a note on Twitter, like, you guys, I'm telling you about this tomorrow. Are you signed up to hear about it? And have the link in there. I send people to blog posts that have a link where I have what's called a content upgrade. I just created a blog planner. Some of you guys may have gotten it, to plan out your year and do your social media, your email, your blog strategy.
I loved that.
I love it too. I created it because I wanted it. And then I was like, maybe people would like it. And like 600 people did. And so, which is awesome. So I grew my list by 600 people in 1 week by creating something that was really valuable to people. So I think for me with social media, the thing is too, that you cannot just keep talking about yourself. You have to make connections. I love to share from other people. I have like lists. I use Hootsuite to do my Twitter especially, and I have lists set up of people who share great content, and I go in and retweet every week, respond and reply like, oh, that looks like a great link. Thanks for sharing this. I talk to people and make those connections, and then sometimes they share back and sometimes they don't, or sometimes I ask them to be on the podcast and sometimes they say yes. Usually they say yes, sometimes they say no. And making those connections, because sometimes those get you places. Sometimes they'll give you a shout out. A couple, when I did the blog planner, I reached out to a few influencers I'd connected with on Twitter and had conversations and said, hey, here's a free copy. Your audience might like this. If they do, here's the link if you want to share it. And I think I had 3 big people share it, which was awesome. And so you just never know, but I think you've got to keep remembering what your bottom line is. You want to get people on your email list. You want to get them, you know, your blog is important, but again, you don't keep that traffic unless you capture it through your email. So it's not bad to send people to your blog, but you want to get them on your list once they're on your blog, but you got to connect with other people and share great content. So that was a lot, Angela. Social media growth.
Sure. Well, I think one of the things that's been helpful for me are the Facebook groups. And a lot of times I can pop into a group when I see a question I answer it. And, there's like no strings attached. It's just something that I know something about, or, hey, what tool do you guys use? Or, what do I do if someone steals my content? And I have written many posts and dealt with that a lot. And so, those are the kinds of things that you can really connect with people and answer their questions. And then, when there's a thing going on, I can pop in and say, hey, we're doing this training. You guys want to come? And, people they'll come because they remember that you helped them, or they remember that you jumped in on a thread where they were struggling with someone stealing their stuff and you want to go through this. There will be an ongoing Facebook group for this creative profitability course. Absolutely. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is actually having some incentives. I've got some really amazing books that I want to give somebody who actually earns back the money that they spent on the course by implementing the techniques. So when you write your book and you sell $200 worth, let us know and I've got a goodie bag for you, because I believe in what we're teaching and I've seen it change the lives of my family. I mean, there's no way that I could have, even with what was going on with Bailey, the horse that Lisa was asking me about. We rescued a horse last week, and it was desperate. She needed to get out of where she was, or she was going to be shipped off to slaughter. And she's a beautiful mare and well broke, easy to ride, very sweet tempered. I don't know why she's there. And she was in a desperate situation, and we needed a certain amount of money immediately. And I tweeted out about my course a couple times. A few friends chipped in, and next thing you know, we were rescuing this horse. And it wasn't because I'm a millionaire, but it's because I had something to fall back on, and we were able to use the money that was sitting in my PayPal from the course to rescue that horse immediately and turn around within 24 hours and make it happen. And when you've created a buffer for yourself where you're not reliant on somebody else's paycheck, and you're creating a system that frees you up. I mean, come here, Adam. He's sitting over here. I'm watching him finish up his second lunch because we're at Grandma's house. So you can't just have one lunch at Grandma's house. But I'm home with my kids all day, and that's where I wanted to be. And we structured our lives in a way that would make that possible. But that doesn't minimize the fact that I still have so much passion and so much energy and so much interest in the things that I'm trying to learn and that I want to do and that I want to teach, and connect with other people and amazing friends like Kirsten. When you implement these techniques, you can make money, and you can do it at home sitting right next to your kids. It's totally possible. There are no excuses. I'm on limited internet in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. Nobody knows where I live. Google Maps doesn't even know where I live. I feel like if I can do it, anyone can do it. And all right, you can go finish your lunch now. I love you.
And like Angela said, we want to celebrate your successes. And so in the Facebook group, we really want to, now that we've got the course, I feel bad. There's 10 people who've been waiting, and they bought a bundle. So they got other courses. They weren't just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, what's coming. But they've been waiting for this course, which we are finally done with. And except for the parts we want to add. So things that you guys might want that aren't in there.
Like affiliate stuff.
Affiliates. Yeah. I'm going to totally get on that tonight.
Yeah, but, I can add more about that too.
Yeah, it's great. See, this kind of stuff lets us know what you guys want to know. The Facebook group's a great place to interact. We want to see you earn your money back. And I will also say this year, because I follow all these people, I always see the courses that launched. This year I saw at least 3 courses about webinars and 3 courses about about creating courses launch. And each one of them was $1,000 each. Now,
Holy
I will say,
moly.
Yeah, I will say, so Amy Porterfield, she did a course on webinars. I know that her course is way more extensive than ours. She's been doing webinars for 5 years. But at the same time, do you need to know every single thing in her course to make money back? That's the question, because I saved up, and actually I got an email from Christina talking about how she came into the money just now to get the course, which she did. And I'm so excited about that. But for me, I waited. There was one course I wanted that was $1,000. And I was like, that's so much money, but I think it would be, because I've taken courses that were, $50 to $200 maybe, and that's the most I'd paid. And I'd gotten great value out of them. So I was like, this $1,000 course is going to be the most amazing thing. Well, I got it and it wasn't. I was shocked at how little, not just the content, but the value. I kind of thought I really could have done this on my own. And I think I should have asked for a refund, but I just felt awkward about that. P.S. If you guys want a refund, 30 days, like 30 days, if you feel like this course is not for you, that's just something that we'll do. I think that's just a standard thing you should offer. And we'll talk about if there's something we could do to make it better. But because I can't imagine like knowing how much is in here that you wouldn't be happy with it. But,
yeah, no, they're going to get.
You're going to get a lot. I really do think I should have contacted her, but I just was kind of embarrassed, like, because I know as a course creator how I would have felt, but it wasn't worth $1,000. And, you know, she's been doing it forever. She's been the girl who created it. She's been on John Lee Dumas's Entrepreneur on Fire. And I kind of took all that as clout. Like, I must be getting so much out of this course, and it was helpful, and I'm going to milk it for all it's worth and get the most out of it I can, because I paid way too much stinking money. So it's not always about the cost, but we wanted to keep this cost. I mean, $397 for the full price, $197. I mean, I know that they're small comparatively, but it's not small when you don't have a lot of money, because we're scrappy entrepreneurs too. So
we have been there. Travel and Last had a question about the course. So the course it's on a website, and you log in. When you purchase, we'll give you the login information, and then you'll be able to access each of the modules, go at your own pace. You can pick and choose. So if, you know, even though module 2 is about the newsletter, if you know that you don't have a newsletter yet, start there, get your list going right away. So you'll click over and, you know, start with module 2 and get your email list going right away. You know, whatever it is that you need to focus on, you'll be able to focus on that immediately. All of the modules and lessons are created now, and we will be sending the signups within the week, Kirsten, so people can get in.
Yeah, I mean, today it's ready. Like, there may be a few things we add. My stuff's done. I think your stuff's done. I was stalking it last night because I can't wait to take your stuff. But yeah, once we give everybody the information, it's self-paced. If you want to start with webinars and not look at ebooks yet, if you want to start with ebooks, it's ready. You can do it. We're not going to like only release part at a time. Do it all whenever you want. Spend a weekend, do the entire thing, and then come out and be like,
and then be brilliant.
I know it all. Yeah.
My brain is overloaded. It hurts my brain. No, that would so be me if I tried to do the whole thing in a weekend. No, it's ready. And you can go through and look over it and really delve into each of the areas that you want. And then we have the Facebook group. So if you want to ask questions about a specific lesson, so you're like, I was doing the ebook lesson number 3, and you said this, and I don't get it. So what's going on? You know, then boom, I can go in there. We can answer your question, and we can also adjust the course as needed. So, you know, if I feel like you're asking this question and I'm like, well, I totally should have put that in there for you, then I can just go in there and fix it up and make it better for everybody else who comes along. But meanwhile, you know, if you have a question about how to specifically implement, like when I'm talking about the topics and things like that, you can pop into the Facebook group and we will help you brainstorm through your specific topics and how that would translate, how the techniques that I'm teaching will translate to your specific situation. That's where the Facebook group really comes in handy in terms of having that live access to either one of us or both or the rest of the students to kind of get that going.
And also, like, you can email me. Like, I will absolutely email back with you about that stuff too. Like, if it's something you don't want to ask in the Facebook group for whatever reason, like, totally, I will absolutely respond to your email. So
yes. Lisa, so the special during this webinar right now is that you would get the Creative Profitability course, as well as the in-depth newsletter course that Kirsten has developed and the self-publishing course that I have developed. And then after this is over, so the launch, basically the launch week special, we're doing a pick one. So you'll get the course and then you can choose one of the bonuses. So you can either do newsletter if that's where you need your focus to be, or self-publishing if that's where you want your focus to be. And then after that, it'll just be the regular price.
Yeah. And as we kind of mentioned, but like, in case you're like, wait, isn't this all in Creative Profitability? Yes. However, own your list, my email course, there's just too much. Like I did not include every single thing from that course in here. I include what you need. Yeah, this is a very focused course on creating your own products or writing and making money from it. So it's very focused on that. So like, and also like if you want to grow on email stuff, I also have a free course. You can just, it's freeemailcourse.com, and you can sign up and get those free in your email, and also kind of see what that looks like. That's another way to grow your list, is creating a free course. And that's, so you can go ahead and take that if you want. But Own Your List is a really in-depth. I have some exclusive interviews with people talking about how different ways that they grew their lists that they're not available anywhere else. And it really is a pretty huge, like if you want to take ownership of your email, that's what the course is on. And the same with Angela's Achieve Your Publishing Dreams. You know, like we said, we tried to jam as much as we could into this webinar, and it was just like so the Creative Profitability has very extensive modules. But if you want to go, like if you know, I want to make a full-time income writing ebooks, then you're going to get even more stuff for that in Achieve Your Publishing Dreams. And so, yeah, they're more extensive. We're not holding back in Creative Profitability. We're just giving you a more narrow lens to look at all that stuff through. And also, so, okay, Travel and Last, put your website in there so we can find you, because I want your printable on 30 traveling tips.
And Lisa also, she's getting ready to do a course on homemaking and stuff. So Lisa, put your website in there too.
And that's the other thing too. If you guys have things like in our Facebook group, like I want to make it a place where it's not, we don't want it to be spammy, but I don't think a small group of you guys are going to be spammy. So like we want to celebrate with you the things that you're doing. And so we want it to be a place where you can share, and we can share content from you guys too. So, we've still got a few more people in here. So anybody have any other questions, or, you know, we've done an hour and a half. My mouth is dry, but if there are any more questions, we want to stick around and answer them. Oh, cool. Retro Housewife Goes Green. I love this.
Yeah, and Travel and Last said she had a 30 best travel tips. I wonder if they work for kids.
I'll search for you. If you don't leave it in here, I will find you. I will find you, Travel.
Christina, that's awesome. It's like the universe is saying, here you go.
Yeah, I saw your email. I was trying to respond, and then I was like, I can't respond right now. I'm supposed to be in this webinar. But Lisa, I didn't realize it was you. I don't always make the connections group to group. Hi, Lisa. I know you. I know you from everywhere.
from all of our blogging groups.
Well, it's like people's names are familiar, but then sometimes like in the chat and without the pictures and stuff, like your profile. I just went to your site. Of course it's you. All right, guys. Last moment for questions, the moment of truth. And then we're going to go ahead and cut it off. And again, the price will stay the same, but you're just going to get to pick 2 instead of get all 3 of the courses. And then we'll get busy at work sending out replays and getting people access into things.
Travel and Last says, can you repeat what the additional 3 are? Yeah, so Creative Profitability is the course that we showed you the 5 modules of. We're going to go through ebooks, writing, paid writing, email newsletters, webinars, and courses. And all of those methods and how they interlink together to really create long-term profitable strategies for you as a blogger. When you buy that, I mean, we're always going to have that course available. After this week, it's just going to be, you buy the course, you get that course. Right now, during this webinar, if you buy the course, you also get the in-depth email course from Kirsten, and you get my self-publishing course from me. We're including those as bonuses to help promote the Creative Profitability course. After this course is over, after this webinar ends, like right now in 1 minute, you can still get the Creative Profitability course, and you can choose which one of the in-depth courses you want, either the how to build your email list or self-publishing as an added bonus, but you get to just pick whichever one that you want. Yeah. So it's just during this webinar, we wanted to be able to say, yay, some people bought. So that's why.
And I lost my, oh wait, there it comes back. My internet just kicked off our video and chat, but it may be still there for you guys.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Seeing it, mine's weird, but that's just part of webinars. And again, I will be there for your first webinar, if you want me to be as the bonus, just for right now, if you buy it right now, because that's, okay, it's still showing me, but.
Because you have a million kids. Like I have a million kids.
But I'll plan around. We'll plan a time that works, and I will
That'll be fun.
help you with your webinar, and we will still.
Well, now I want to go have a webinar.
You want to go have another one?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're going to be there,
I will be there. I will be your moderator.
I should do a gardening one. Okay.
I want to sing like a really bad version of like "I will be your moderator, baby," but we're just not going to do it.
Oh, come on.
Nope, we're not doing it. It's just too much.
Okay, so does before we start karaoke, does anybody have any other questions? Check in the chat just to make sure.
I love that you guys have stuck around, and I hope it was really helpful stuff. Even if you didn't buy, there's like no love lost here. Like keep in touch and let us know if you have other questions. So
Lisa wants the bonus where she gets to come hang out and have coffee with us.
You know, we need to make that happen sometime. We'll
telling
figure
you.
that out. We'll figure that out. Maybe I'll come out to Oklahoma and we'll meet up somewhere for coffee.
That would be awesome. Except
that'd be really fun.
Actually, we do have a coffee shop in Antlers, Oklahoma. We can
meet our own, like meet and like have our own coffee and like travel mugs.
The coffee shop in Antlers is also where you can buy the e-cigarettes, like the juice refills. And it's called Pick Your Passion. So it doesn't matter what you're addicted to. You can get it there.
Or cigarettes. You can get it both. Do they have alcohol too?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
If you're gonna,
if they do, it must be like on the back shelf behind the thing. I've never asked.
All right.
Irish coffee.
I think we should close it down. Now we're talking e-cigarettes and coffee. But yeah, if you guys are, the chat's going up and down. But if you're here, we're about to jump off. If you start your purchase now, like I'll give you 10 grace minutes because I know it may take a minute. I'm one of those people, I'm last minute, and every time I've bought a course, I think I buy it the last hour, and they're like, the cart's closing, and I'm like, no.
Don't close without
I'm typing stuff in, but yeah, in case you're like scrambling and stuff. But we're gonna close it down. I really appreciate you guys being here with us. Replay viewers, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, keep in touch. And if you guys sign up on this page, I do live trainings once or twice a month. And I'll have to have you as a guest, Angela, just sometime to talk straight ebook stuff. Or I mean, I don't know, you
publishing.
Blog stuff.
I have a book launching, so if you want to do that next month, I am taking the book launch.
Perfect. We'll do that. All right, you guys, thank you so much. This was great, and we'll see you soon online.
Bye, guys.